Music for global change. Creating music that inspires the world. Welcome to the Music for Global Change broadcast. And now here's your hosts, founder and music ambassador Skyler, Jett, with Deborah Fenella and Tom Bryant.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to start a revolution? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to start a revolution?
Namaste, welcome to Music for Global Change broadcast with music ambassador, founder, celebrity Skyler, Jett, Deborah Fenella and
Tom Bryant. Hello.
I'm really excited to have three amazing music humanitarians, Larry Batiste, Claytoven Richardson and Jarvis LaRue Baker. Claytoven Richardson to join us a little bit later and also Jarvis LaRue Baker. But welcome, Larry, to Music for Global Change. We're so excited and blessed to have you today. So how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I am doing so good. If I felt any better, I'd be Skyler, Jett.
Bless you, Larry. Now, you've been so busy, haven't you? Because you're also conductor of the Grammys. You've worked with many amazing artists as well. And you're such a huge inspiration to the world. And I feel really blessed, actually, to finally meet you and the introduction to our amazing Skyler, Jett as well. Now, as you know, we're talking about music for global change and how we can have a positive impact across the world and how music for global change can actually impact across the world and to actually save and heal the world as well. Now, I know with regards to your amazing work that you're very much into music for global change and a support as well. Now, what sort of guided you down this path? Obviously, being an amazing musician yourself, conscious music. What guided you down this path?
Well, just from the beginning, music to me is medicine. It's always been my best friend. And so, I get so much from it. I just have to give it back. When I was a kid, I was the only one that was involved in music in my household. And when things would happen to me as a kid, we had this little old piano in our room that we inherited from my aunt. And her husband was a famous musician. He played in the Count Basie band, Duke Ellington bands and stuff like that. And unfortunately, he died an alcoholic. And my aunt thought it was the music that, got him into this. So she didn't want anything musical in her house after he passed away. She gave things away and we got the piano. So the piano stayed in our garage, and then eventually things got, it became a clothes rack and all that, the stuff got put on it. And so one day I went in the garage and I took everything off the piano and I just started playing, one note, and I go, this note sounds good with this note and this note. And so that's kind of my beginning. So as a kid, when things would happen to me, I would retreat to this garage where this piano was, and I began to write songs and document my situation. And after I documented the situation, I was done with it and I was able to go back into the neighborhood and do my thing. So music has always been my best friend.
What's really beautiful about what you're saying is you discovered how to put notes together.
Absolutely. I'm going, okay, this note sounds good with this note. Now, if I add this note, oh my God, that's a chord. And I didn't know it was a chord at the time. I just know these notes sound good together. Yeah. And then I found another group of notes that sound good when I went from this chord to this chord. And, and then I started humming things and then words started coming and, I was able to document. And so music has always been my medicine. It's been healing. And that's what I share with other people. I think our gig on this earth is to lift other people's up and make lives better for, especially for music creators.
I can imagine, Larry, that all of your neighbours loved you. And I can imagine you had a huge fan club where everyone was like gathering around your garage, listening to you playing the piano and wanting to sing along with you as well. Because like you say, music has a huge impact in the world, healing people. And what
Yes.
through conscious music.
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it? Which is so important. So it started off in the garage and then you continued down your path. And what happened?
Yeah. Eventually, I joined bands. And, what's so powerful is that, when I was in this one group that really, I guess, launched my career in terms of recording, we were signed to a major label. The group was called Bill Summers and Summer's Heat. And the amazing thing is that when you start to travel and you see people around the world and they are singing these words that you wrote in your garage, that shows the impact. They know the words and they go like, oh my God, and it just takes me back to when I was just sitting there, and that's the power, and that's the reach of song. And what it does, it really changes lives. I think that everybody can remember where they were at one, but I remember certain songs. I remember where I was when I first heard that song. And so it's just a connector. And that's what we're trying to do, just connect with people. There he is.
Hi, Claytoven.
Hey, brother. Oh, there you go.
How's it going, man?
Oh, man, feeling blessed with no stress, man. Staying away from the devil's mess.
We want to say a huge warm welcome to Music Global Change, Claytoven. I've been reading quite a lot about you and also about Larry as well, because you are musical partners. You do work together, and you are both a true inspiration to the world. And we are so excited to have you both on the show today with all of us. I'm Deborah Fenella. This is my lovely friend Tom, and also Skyler, Jett, the amazing inspiration behind Music for Global Change as well. Now we've been talking a lot about conscious music and what it means to you. Now, what does conscious music mean to you, Claytoven, as a budding artist yourself?
Wow, conscious, I guess to me is just being aware of what's transpiring in the world, what's transpiring in your community, and writing to kind of deal with some of those aspects of diversity, civil rights, all of the things that are going on right now in front of us. I think is what it's really all about for me.
And I think also, the world is waking up now consciously, and now is the right time to sort of spread the word of Music for Global Change and conscious music and wake up world. We can, help one another to heal, but spread more love, more peace across the world, and support humanity through this process of change that's taken place. And every song does have a story, and it has a very poignant message with regards to the songs that both of you write as well, and everything that you're both involved in, as well as playing musical instruments, because I know that, Larry, you do play many musical instruments yourself as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, we both do, actually. When we started off, Claytoven was his main instrument was the saxes. And then,
actually, my main instrument was the oboe.
The oboe. I would say he takes care of the wood. He takes care of the woodwind family, and I take pretty much care of the brass family. I don't play trumpet, but my instrument was trombone.
Yeah,
and trombone, baritone, and tuba. And so when we started off bands together, Clay was doing woodwinds, and I was doing that thing. So that was good. And then that went into singing and all these other things that we do. And we're songwriters, so we start using the keyboard to write songs, and everything just kind of one goes into the other.
You're really good friends, aren't you? And how did you actually both meet?
Oh my God.
That was crazy. Some years ago, we were both in a battle of the bands. He was in this. He was in one of the top, R&B bands, top 40 bands at that time, and I was in another band. We were just starting out. The crazy thing for me though was, back in the day they used to rent, not rent but loan instruments, and I wanted to move from the oboe and the clarinet to saxophone.
Graduate.
Yeah, but they ran out of saxophones.
That's cool.
So I got a bass clarinet. And so in the band, it was a trumpet player, a saxophone player, played alto, and me playing bass clarinet with the horn section. And our band took second behind Larry's band he was in. And I remember he came to me and said, man, I just had to meet you because I had to meet anybody that played James Brown on the bass clarinet.
No matter which way you go, it's 12 notes, right?
Right, exactly.
You could call it anything, right?
Yeah.
And it's still those 12 notes. And, you know, I did some numbers the other day and I looked up love songs. There's over 347 million love songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I checked out social conscious music, there was 71 million, right? There's 71 million people there that actually write social conscious music, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going, wow, what if we lift the numbers? You got 347 million and you lifted you know, the music every time will shape everything. The What's Going On album helped stop the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And then you had Woodstock, and everybody performing at Woodstock at least had one song that they was talking about ending the war, right? Right. It was the young people and music that stopped that war. It's going to be the young people now to put the light on racism and try to correct that, right? And what's happening is there's so many mixed people now, you know, with race, right? If you're attracted to somebody, you don't care where they from, right? I know that because both sides of my grandparents were interracial couples, right? So if you're attracted to another human being and that goes down, who cares? I mean, they were married over 60 years. Both of my grandparents were interracial, married. They had to hide to be together in Mississippi, right? They had to hide, meet each other by the river and all that kind of stuff like that, right? And my grandfather, they was ready to kill my grandfather because he was French and Choctaw Indian. And he heard about Oakland, California. He said, you know, I ain't really got to be educated. I can go down there and work on the docks and pull boxes off the boats. Well, my grandfather did that for 3 years and he bought his own house down there on Curtis and West Grand, right? Right there by Beacons. Right? And he built this house right there and he built a barbershop underneath the house. Now, he's a white man living in the ghetto and everybody's trying to figure out, why do you want to live down here with us? They try to figure this stuff out, like, dude. And they didn't know he had a black wife, right? So my grandfather built his house and then went back to Mississippi, put the whole family on the train and brought him back out. And when they moved down there in West Oakland, they said, oh, he got a black wife, right? So it doesn't matter. Now, same way with music, because now that I left Napa Valley 7 years ago, the whole world is open to me, right? Everything over here is really close. I mean, like, I'm in England, but I can fly to Paris in 35 minutes. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's like going, that's sooner than getting to LA from the Bay Area.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I think the biggest trip that you brought across was, you know, a while back, everything was word of mouth. Everything was, if you were able to get into major promotional situations and stuff like that, like someone like with the What's Going On album, like Marvin Gaye. But I think two things are really changing the way we view music and the type of music that's coming out, and more social conscious things coming out. And that's the advent of, you know, social media, the change in the record industry, where there are more things being streamed online. There's more opportunity for people to be independent and to write about the things they want to write about and be able to put them out. And then and once you put something on the internet, it's worldwide right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather someone sees it or not. I mean, because it's not it's not always if you do it, they will come kind of thing. But but there's more of an opportunity for people to have independent points of view and stuff like that. And I think the last thing that's really amped things up is COVID and being shut in all 2020 and people being forced to have to see the news and actually forced to have to see what's going on in the world. And because people are being forced to have to see more things in the world, people are being more sensitive to things. Diversity is at an all-time high right now, to me, mostly because of 2020 and us being shut in. And so there are a lot of factors that are playing into it, which I think is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think especially this year, we have the pandemic. I think it's kind of, unfortunately, it brought people together in a way of, camaraderie, of us fighting something together. That and also the George Floyd incident, it kind of, and the things that we have things filmed, it's not like these atrocities are just now happening. These things have been happening for years and years and years. It's just on film. It's just on film now.
Yeah.
It's just on film now, and it's at a point where we could all see. I have so many friends call me, my white friends, but they say, "Oh my God, I didn't know this was," and so they didn't know because you will hear a news item and it comes up, then it goes away. But I think the George Floyd thing just really brought it to light, and for the first time in protest, that's we saw people of all nationalities, all coming together for one cause, and you found out who the good people were.
No, check it out. Wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong. And so, and all the right people got together and said, I don't care what you look like. I don't care, So unfortunately, George Floyd had to lose his life, but I really did change the world in some ways.
It was a wake up minute.
And people wrote songs about this, and it just really lifted the consciousness of the world.
Well, I want to say this to you guys now because I got you here. Yeah, you don't know. These brothers are so powerful. All over the world, but they're great songwriters, great human beings, humanitarians, right? Always reaching out to help other people. I've learned so much from you guys. I love you so much for that. You know what I mean?
The same here, Skyler. You're the same.
Same, yeah.
but what now probably in decades. Okay, so you got rock, you got funk. After a while, there's all these genres of music, right? When is the last time they had a social conscious platform, a new genre? Because if you got 71 million people there writing songs, if I could put them on festivals, right?
Yeah,
and where it's good music and positive music. If you start doing these festivals, that's what my dream is right now, is to start doing festivals around the world. And because I'm writing with so many people from different parts of the world, right? Yes. They introduced me to their fans. These are people if I was in Napa, I wouldn't have never met.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It would be amazing if we would have festivals of positivity. That's great. And because it's so needed. You said the ones the last, people are making social conscious records, but not in the bulk. It's like you're not hearing about it a lot. I think the biggest commercial successful social conscious record was probably Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On."
What's going
over
on?
50 years ago.
I'm speaking again. Say that exactly.
And those words still hold true. Unfortunately.
Wait. It turned 50 years ago.
Yeah.
That record was, and he was, to me, he was like, that's amazing that his lyrics are talking about now, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think, I don't want to slight some of the other people like War
Oh yeah.
Bill Heron.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that were
Curtis Mayfield.
Yes.
Curtis Mayfield.
You know, there were a lot of folks that was so. I just think that now, because of the things that are coming to the forefront, especially via media, online, like George Floyd, Breonna, you know, and some of the many others that have like lost their lives behind injustice or prejudice or whatever. We're just starting to see more companies. Larry could speak to the Recording Academy, trying to do more diverse things, which in the end pushes musicians and singers and writers to do more socially conscious.
That's my whole premise, man. That's my whole music for global change. Is to go. You know what I did? I did an experiment. I met this brother from Ghana in Amsterdam, right? And it just so happens, and I say, let's do a tune together, right? And then I start thinking, what? Because he does reggae around all the clubs in Amsterdam and stuff like that. I say, well, I'll do a reggae song with you. And it's a tune I actually did with T.M. Stevens. But the trippy thing about it, man, is him singing in his language of Twi from Ghana.
Right.
He's singing that language, right? And I'm singing in English, right? But we do it under a bed of reggae.
Yeah.
You got 3 different elements going on there, right?
Well, speaking of reggae, you know, that's what Bob Marley was doing. He had, you know.
My heroes, Marvin Gaye, John Lennon, Bob Marley, Curtis Mayfield, Nina Simone, right? Because they sang for the struggle, man. And it's a trip. My attorney was the attorney for Nina Simone. They didn't want to let her back into the United States because she was causing, you know, a lot of riots and stuff like that from her language, right? And my attorney he did the deal to finally get her back into America, right? But she spoke out, man. That you can use music for that. We can use music to make you feel better and worse or whatever like that. But I think if the lyrical content is positive, and we start having festivals with great acts, man, that do music that, you know what I mean? At the concerts, man, it's gonna be so cool because everybody's coming to hold on to each other. You come and dance with each other and eat with each other, and that's about it. And soak up some consciousness, right? Those are the concerts that I think that's missing. But if we have 71 million people that's writing it, there's definitely an audience already there.
But also, I think it'd be fantastic if we could take like music for global change to Glastonbury. I mean, they have a massive big festival once a year. It'd be really good to start having music for global change festivals there as well, like you say. And it's all about writing all the right lyrics to bring the positive changes, because again, each word has the impact, doesn't it? And it's a very powerful content. I mean, I'm a singer-songwriter myself, and as Skyler knows, one of my songs I've just actually been in the recording studios recording it, and it's called Be Kind, Be Kind, Be Kind. And it's for the John Lennon songwriting competition, because it's the 50th anniversary of Imagine. So I wrote it for that, and also Freedom for Us All, and it's all about, the positive changes that need to take place in the world. It's all to change. So again,
it's great.
About positive change, isn't it? And that, being a Reiki master myself and humanitarian, I dedicate my life to bring these positive changes to the world, just like each and every one of you do. And I feel really excited because I know that the world is waking up, and what better way than through music.
Have either of you got any plans to write anything at the moment for kind of social conscious content wise? Have you got anything in the pipeline?
I know for me, it's really weird. I just graduated from college, Berklee College of Music. And one of my exit classes my project was to start my own project. Start a project on myself, as I got started. And now I'm in the process of trying to finish that project. And there are a couple of songs that I'm currently working on that deal with social consciousness. not just from a point of view of it's more diversity kind of thing, dealing with sexual choice.
Big audience. There's a big audience.
Yeah, sexual choice, and then the other is dealing with personal choice.
Yeah.
One is dealing with from the point of view of having been in relationships with someone who was bisexual and trying to understand, that way of living, that way of being, and that thought pattern. We're seeing that a lot now. And the other one is dealing with personal choice in that putting myself in a position to be open to others, no matter what color, race, you know what I mean? Sexual orientation, whether they're handicapped or whatever.
Non-biased person, right?
Yeah.
And Larry,
and the second one deals with that choice.
what about you, Larry? Have you got anything in the pipeline?
I think at this point we just need to promote happiness. We want joy, love. I think you turn on the news and there's so much crazy stuff going on. I think just keeping it simple. But in terms of the my creativity and doing music, I'm always conscious of people. I'm part of a campaign with the Recording Academy where their our focus is diversity, inclusion, and equity, and that's kind of like in my system. So as I move forward and producing people, we try to bring that type of message forward, and there's another aspect. I work with an artist named John Lee Hooker Jr. His father's the famous blues artist, and he's gone through turmoil in his life. He's been imprisoned, he's been a drug addict and all that, but he has over 25 years clean and sober now. And so just, he's coming from another space of it's kind of a more religious space of going, hey, look, I've been saved. Look what happened to me. He goes, so his thing is prison ministry. He goes back into the prisons. And, and some of those people they recognize him and they go, oh my God.
He's a star now.
If you can come back as a pastor, there's hope for me.
Yeah.
So I've taken on the causes of diversity, inclusion, and equity. And now I've taken on supporting artists with disabilities.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother voice that needs to be, we run across some geniuses now with disabilities. So I've got that campaign going with the Recording Academy. And I kind of, they're the power behind it, but I'm kind of the idea person who just interjects ideas. And so the Recording Academy produces the Grammy Awards, and I'm a lifetime member. So, this time I took about 5 years off, but I'm back as a trustee. And this time I like to kind of have a mission, to fight for some causes. So I'm dealing with artists with disabilities now. And then my next cause would be artists with mental illness. And we could do that through music. It was so powerful. We could educate, we could heal. We could change moods, we could change thought patterns, all this through music. And so that's why your program is so important.
Glad to be here with you, Music for Global Change. Jay LaRue, the entertainer in the house.
And you can use the music for other things to heal too, because I go to Africa, right?
Yes.
And I see people walking around with no shoes on, but underneath their feet where they're walking is diamonds and gold and phosphate and the chocolate and everywhere, man. I mean, in Africa, man, the minerals are just so amazing, right? But then people, it just blows my mind. I'm walking down the street. Why don't you have some shoes on? Right? Mm-hmm. So at my concerts, what I'm going to do is, now, Larry, let me ask you, how many pairs of shoes you got in your closet?
I don't know. It's a lot.
Okay. How many of them do you wear?
2.
That's my point. That's my point. So I have shoe drives at my festivals, right? And if you bring a pair of shoes, you get $10 off your ticket, right?
Okay.
I'm just trying to find a company that will fly them to Africa. Now, if you don't want shoes, that's cool too, but I think everybody should have shoes, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, so many things you could do with music, right? Just festivals. At the festivals, people can bring food for other people. All of that, man. You know, it's not just, right?
Yeah, we all have too much. We have more than what we need. So
that's crazy. The last guest we had said the same thing, right? A friend of mine from Portugal. And he said the same thing. He said, why do you need 17 cars?
We've been talking very much about music for global change and conscious music. Now, what does conscious music mean for you, Jarvis?
Well, as of now, anything that's pertaining to making the world a better place, a happier place, not just because of the pandemic. We've been doing this thing a long time, and we're following a lot of trailblazers who've done it a long time before us. Our job is truly to make it better, conscience-wise, health-wise, as one people, as a whole. And my avenues from everything I've done from where I grew up to all the way around the world and back again is giving me the full global scale along what it's all about now. And that is music for global change.
Wow. Bless you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Bless you. I mean, it's such a beautiful movement. And because you know what, we can help each other. We don't have to wait on somebody else to help us, right?
Not anymore. Not the way a very interesting gentleman told me. Now that we have the internet and we can do this thing worldwide together, we're going to touch a lot of lives. We're going to change a lot of people's lives now.
Imagine Martin Luther King with the internet. Wow.
Well, the way it's constantly changing, and it seems like it's not stopping. The software just keeps coming. These new tech guys just keep trying to invent things in their little garages, just like GarageBand. And thank God we got trailblazers like Sugar Bear, Larry, and Clay follow their lead and intertwine this new technology thing with the history of what they know.
Yeah.
And bring it all in together, because we can't forget about that. That's where it came from. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And they made part of the sound of that mecca of the Bay Area, right?
There you go.
And, I mean, putting in many years, decades into the Bay Area, not only performing, but of service to helping other people. I watch it every day. They've done the same thing to me.
And you,
beautiful, brother. So now, like, I'm gonna get back to this again. I'm trying to make music for global change a place where I can introduce, just like this. I'm introducing you to British people, right? And vice versa. We have the internet, right? So I go out and I connect people like crazy, right? And we spread the word of let's get together and write some social conscious music, because I just want to raise that number. If it's 71 million people writing social conscious music, there's no stores for it. There's nothing for it. All I'm trying to do is create a platform for those people to, get some recognition. You start that. Wait a minute, that guy Michael Franti pulls off $40,000 a performance for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
He ain't mainstream. He's not mainstream, right?
Yeah.
But he goes and find all these kind of conscious groups, because he bought some yoga studios, right? And he started getting in with a segment of people hippie kids, right? And they go out there and they dance to happy music, man.
Yeah.
So it's already been proven.
But you know, you mentioned Michael Franti. He is totally genuine. You know, he's totally. You know, I'm the Bay Area's probably #1 volunteer. I sit on 5 different boards, and every board that I sit on have something to do with either, you know, advocating for after school programs, instrument drives, and whatever, raising money for kids and music education and that type of thing. And so one of the programs I had to produce last year, I called on Michael Franti, who I have friends that play with him and all that kinds of, but he really doesn't know me. And I was received so well.
Yeah.
And just because I just told him what I was doing, and he wrote a beautiful song and made a video and this whole kind of thing and did a little speech. And, you know, he is really the real deal in terms of music for global change. I mean, he fits right in there. He might be one of your advocates.
Well, and there's a lot of them out there, but
there's a
friend of mine has this organization called the Positive Music Association, right? And what he did was he went and got everybody's number, but he didn't connect them to each other, right?
Yeah, okay.
Or put them in genres together, right? This is the rock part of the stuff, and here's the, you know, art, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't put it in categories, but the lyrics still have to be the same about healing, education, and solving problems. I stay on point with that. And so when I go out and speak to young people, right, I say, I do social conscious music. They like, okay, what time we get out of here? Okay. Right? It's cold-blooded. And so, but I say, hold on. Because when I play on my videos, that's when they get it.
Yeah.
And they go, wow. And I challenge them. I say, there's probably something you believe that we could change to make things better. What would that be? And I challenge them to come up with that question, right? Instead of complaining, you know what I mean? What would be the solution to it? And write about that. Because you're not the only one out of 7 billion people, you know, feel the same way, right?
Right, exactly.
Jarvis, so I've been reading up a little bit about you, and you've obviously worked with many celebrities yourself and been a singer-songwriter, and you've also worked with Shanice, and Skyler sent me one of the songs that I remember, and I've heard it many times, is I Like Your Smile.
I love your smile.
That's it all, and it's encouraging the world to smile, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that song.
No, I was just saying that's actually a love song, but just the title alone makes you smile.
I love your smile.
I love your smile. Come on. I mean, that was genius. That was genius to come up with that.
You said something earlier, Larry, that is so true. And it is about titles, right? When I write lyrical content, I write the hook first, because that's the part everybody goes sing. Even if you can't sing, that's the part. If you make the melody, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so you said happy.
Yes,
now,
happiness.
That one song, that one word, happy, a lot of people has done it, and that's exactly how it makes you feel, right? Happy. It was in a movie.
Oh, Pharrell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then Bobby McFerrin.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's certain words too, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of all the amazing songs that you've written, which is your favorite song and why, please?
Wow. To be honest, my favorite song would be the title of the album, Inner Child.
Right.
We did a song based on keeping the happiness alive in your life, like the birth of a child growing up, no matter how old you get.
Right.
And we wanted to use a lot of harmonies, and she was so effective in many ways and hitting so many different notes. We all collaborated when it came to that, but the album itself, it intertwined into so many different things pertaining to Inner Child. The I Love Your Smile. We had another song on the album, Peace in the World. many things pertaining to
those are social conscious.
Right, which is total social consciousness. However, we didn't know that those type of songs would make the album because we were doing like over 30, 40, 50 tracks. And after doing maybe 40, 50 tracks, 20 of them was mine, and she took 14 of my 20.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and out of those 14, he gave me 7. So out of the 7, the first single was I Love Your Smile. So imagine the other 13. Oh, well.
Hey, I have a question. So what, did you come up with that title? What made you come up with that? It's so original and so fresh. People wouldn't think of that as a title for a song.
You know, it's funny, Larry, that the day that I met her, as Larry was asking, to be honest, Larry, the day that I met her, the day that I met Shanice, I was upstairs in my little C-section room doing my thing. And she came upstairs and I didn't know that she was behind me. And I was programming a beat or something. And she began to hit some notes from behind me. And she hit them so high and holding them so naturally that the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And I just spoke underneath the music and I said, please don't stop singing. And she said, just don't stop playing. And I said, okay. So I kept playing and I couldn't take it anymore. So when I turned around, the only thing I seen was a big, giant, beautiful smile.
Wow.
And the first thing came to my mind was, I love your smile.
Oh, wow.
You know,
that was first. That was first.
Yeah.
Just in my own subconsciousness. That was first. I didn't even say it. I said it to myself. I love your smile. And we began to talk. And in less than 1 minute, maybe less than a minute, I heard Chief's voice. Chief was Narda Michael Walden. I heard his voice downstairs saying, Shanice, you left something downstairs. And she said, okay, I'm coming. But when I followed her to the stairs to go down, apparently he gave her a lot of music on CDs and cassette tapes. And we were using a lot of different concepts to come up with ideas. And she had an arm full of stuff. And I guess she heard me upstairs playing and she dropped everything on the floor and just came upstairs with me. Wow. And from there, my 14 songs turned into Inner Child.
You know, you when you were talking, you made me think, because I'm in the midst of, today is my last day of writing my book. I'm finishing it up. But one thing I always say is that, you know, songwriters hear things differently. You know, we have, you know, we have conversations, and you took that title just from a conversation, just from a, you know, you look at them and say, I love your smile. That comes into a title. Sure. Where the normal person or the everyday citizen wouldn't think that, you know, as a song title. They was just, you're just having a conversation. But, you know, but you just bring it to home.
But Larry, I agree with you 1000%, because in different variations, you got people that's in the music industry that couldn't just come up with that right away and really look for things like that. And I don't look for it. I let it, like you just said, it wasn't even a voice. I mean, it wasn't even a conversation. It was her expression that did it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We hear things differently. It's just like, you know, we having a conversation, you go, oh my God, that's the title. Oh, that's a good phrase for a song.
Sure.
That's, you know, oh, that's something I want to keep with me and share with people.
Sure.
You know, you know, that kind of thing. When somebody says something that lifts you up, you go, well, maybe that'll lift someone else up. You know, and so you put
as human beings in the world, sometimes we don't even realize that the music is what's really also helping us get through with these melodies and these
been like that for hundreds of years,
and these statements and these harmonies. And it's just so wonderful just to be able to hear this stuff. You know what I mean?
Sometimes lyrical, you know, like names of songs, whatever, titles, right, can get just drop in the right place. When you, like, I went to go to Portugal and Lisbon, And there's a saxophone player that I helped produce a couple of songs on. Awesome saxophone player, right? And next thing you know, so I get to the studio and there's like 12 musicians in the studio. They just picked me up from the airport, right? And I walk in and they playing this track, man. And the track, that sounded like some shit from home. I mean, it was funky. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, man. I'm looking at these guys because only 40% of them could speak English, right? And each one of them played 2 and 3 instruments and sang, right? So they're all sitting there, right? So he puts me on the spot. He come in and he go, Skyler, what you think about that track? I said, man, that's bad. Wow, what's the vocal on it? He says, I don't know. We was thinking you would come up with something. I say, for what? He's, come on, man, come up with a title. I go, I don't know, turn it up, so I can hear the. And I said, turn it up, and they went crazy.
Right.
I'm talking about turn it up so I can hear it. Right?
How it happens.
Turned out to be the #1 song in Portugal.
Yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
I'm
Congratulations.
from Oakland, man. Right? And the people playing on it, 40% of them can't speak English, right? I got a #1 hit in Portugal. That just don't happen, right? And
not normally.
Right, man. So, and we can do this all over the world because we have it. I've written over 30 songs on Skype.
You know, I don't want to kind of like speak out of turn too soon, but I see this myself. I see this music for global change, full complete package, kind of like an American Lollapalooza. You know what I mean? On all scales, with all genres of music.
Yeah, exactly.
All cultures, played all over Europe. You know what I mean? For the world to hear.
That's funny because I was thinking Woodstock when they were talking about
even that.
Like,
but only reason why I said
that's the same. That's today.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. And another thing, back to what you and Mr. Clay, I see you over there, big bro. I ain't leaving you out. I know what you're capable of. I didn't say Woodstock only because you know how 10, 20, 50 years go by and it's another thing it's the same thing with a new name.
Absolutely.
Basically. You know what I mean? From bebop to hip hop to, you know what I mean? Or what have you. And the Lollapalooza thing now, which is, you know, kind of like a household name.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To today's crowd, this music for global change thing, man, I see it really happening. I really do.
Most definitely.
I really do.
But like I said, I've been doing this like 20 years now, right? But it really didn't kick in. The first song I ever wrote was a social conscious song. It was 1984 with Ronald LaPrid, the bass player of the Commodores. And we wrote it with this doctor, right? And what they did with this song was put it on simultaneously across Alabama on every radio station across the state. Mm-hmm. And so the premise was we was going to give the money to every 4th child in a family for their college. Okay. And so we gave the money away. But the tricky thing is, man, after that night, we're all on TV and all that. They gave me some, you know, I had posters and all. I'm trying to get through I get up to the top of the plank for the airplane, and people gave me a standing ovation. Wow. They gave me a standing ovation on the plane because I gave this money to families, right?
Sure.
And when you can do that with music, we could take some of just 25%. Look at all that money, man. The big wheels make stuff like that, right? They can really get into helping with music for global change. All I'm trying to do is start a new genre that's already there.
I think that's what's going to keep the movement moving, and I think that's what's going to make it a trailblazing thing. You got a lot of people that come up with benefits and all kind of things that they want to donate to, but this thing right here, it's not just a donation. It's sharing emotions with each other, sharing feelings with each other, communicating with each other. Whether people like it or not, things are gonna constantly keep changing. They're constantly changing, and a lot of us don't want to accept it, but we have to. I remember when my mom, growing up, when my mom used to talk about the credit cards, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to put my money on no plastic and blah, blah, you know, because we come from the area putting your money under the mattress and in your sock or in the shoe box, up in the you know, in the attic or what have you." Yeah. However, when I began to explain to her how the technology would help and benefit in ways, she started understanding, you know, wait a minute, things are changing. And I said that to basically say, there are places, fast food places just here in Houston right now, and I'm sure they're up in the Bay Area in California, where they don't even want to accept cash anymore. They only want debit, credit, or something like that. And now we're moving into the crypto era. So things are changing whether we like it or not. Though the pandemic has done what it's done and what it's doing, and we're now streaming more than ever before, it's gonna be so very difficult to go back 100%. We want to see the shows. We want to be a part of them. We want to see each other and touch and love like we always did. But we've catapulted to a new level now. Yeah. And even when we do come out, it's so simple. My fiance said to me, she said, "Honey, remember when our parents used to buy the record, go home and listen to the record 1,000 times?" That's right. Even the B-side. Come on, Larry. Come on. Oh yeah. I'm gonna take you there. Now, let's fast forward. Yes. Now that record is in your hand on a phone. Right. And you don't have to go home and stream it. You can stream it on the bus, on the plane, on the train, in the back seat, in the Uber. So moving forward with this streaming thing and music for global change, stay with me. It's more of an attack from both angles now, because we do look forward to moving back into society where we once had it. But when we do, it's going to be part of this as well. This is going to the other thing that's really cool that we didn't have back then. Okay, so if you any one of us write a song, right? And you're on stage and you're looking at the audience, you're in control of the audience at that point, right? Right. Now, if one of your songs starts making people go crazy, hey, right? You can tell yourself, you can look out there and see the energy, if they loving it or not, right? Then you go, "Hey, did you like that? Text me right now." Because that phone is in your hand, and it doesn't matter where you're standing, right? That comes with that whole thing right there. Then you might have made yourself another $700 right there, and they never had to move. And I remember, you know, I want to go get an autograph. This is after the show, right? I want to go get, and so now you got to stand in line for about 3 days and stuff like that to get there. Let me tell you. When you get there, you know, get them to sign something. But the wife is talking about, "Baby, you know, if we leave now, we could take $20 off the baby care. Okay, let's go." Right. So you missed all that money if you didn't stand in line, right? But there's so many ways we could make money off of this. Like, okay, I'm gonna say this again. I just did some numbers. So, you know, we got 7 billion people on the planet. And so I would at least say 1 billion of them have picked up an instrument, whether they play in clubs or whatever, you know. So 1 billion people. So now I come to you and I go, "Hey man, how many drinks you gonna have tonight at the club?" "I don't know, 2 or 3. Right? And normally a shot is about $7. So if you have 3, that's $21, right? Okay. So now times the club, right? They had one club in San Rafael. We go pay everybody $500 on the weekend, come to play. And I'm thinking,
on top of that. Think about it. Okay. So I'm going, wow. So you go out 3 hours. Say you had 3 drinks. That's $21. 21 times 500 is $10,500.
Yeah.
Who made out here? Wow. The band made 500.
First of all, I don't know where you can find a drink.
You're the one out there making everybody sweat. That's cold-blooded, man. You're the one out there making everybody sweat. And the club owner say, hey man, now go tell all your friends. So you put on another cap now. You got to be the promoter, right? All to make $500. And they've been doing this for decades. The club owner always said, we ain't got enough money. Well, when will you ever have enough money, right?
Right.
It's never going to happen. So that's why I propose musicians going out and renting buildings ourselves, right? So if we get 1,000 people in there, we just charge them $25 for 3 bands. That's $25,000, right?
Yeah. So
if I go to the guy with the building that is empty and can hold 1,000 people, I say, how would you like to make $600 tonight? He's not going to turn me down. If you're playing in nightclubs and you're making 500, let me show you how to make $6,500, right? Because we did the gig ourselves. And the coolest thing about that, now you got 3 bands. I'm going to put 3 bands in places and $25 to get in. A place with 1,000, I can hold 1,000 people. What I got to do is find the insurance for it. You know what I mean? Maybe get Geico for tonight. In case the building burned up or some stuff like that, right? So that's all. But at the same time, we can make more money by renting buildings ourselves, giving our own gigs. If you look back there in the old the days when people was dancing in barns, they still had beer, right? They still had a good time, right? It wasn't a nightclub. It wasn't no name on it. It was a barn. And music, it's been played everywhere for years. We got to stop the nonsense ourselves. So if you stop playing places like, places like clubs, right? Where they go, bring all your friends. If you stop doing that, then we get together 3 bands and throw gigs ourselves. And now we get young people to come and witness some real human beings, talented human beings playing real instruments. It's coming. It's the new thing. What? Human beings. They're coming. They go, yeah.
We have enough talent. We know enough talented people to pull off whatever we need to. And that's what it takes. If the dream is to do festivals with the theme of music for global change, then, you find collaborators, you find partners, who have the same dream and make it happen. You have, in terms of, I don't know if it's nonprofit or not, but then you have your curriculum, your thing behind it. If we're supporting education, who wouldn't be behind that? If you're supporting healthcare, who wouldn't support that? If you're supporting food drives, because that's all part of happiness. That's all part of lifting each other up and taking care of ourselves. Those elements, to be educated, to have great health care, and to be able to eat, and those type of things. And in music just puts you in the mood, as everything there. So the whole thing is that, just to figure out the logistics of making that happen. Everything costs money, whether you're in a barn or you're in another type of venue, so find partners, find collaborators. And then find the people who, who could do all the sound and that kind of thing. We know people like that. And I mean, that's the movement to really start that movement. I think this is a movement.
It is a movement. And it's the most beautiful thing because there's people already involved in it, but there's no platform. That's what I'm saying. If I can come up with the music for global change genre of music, it could be any style of music, just the lyrical content has to be about healing, education, and solving problems, man. My thing, the song I got out in Ireland right now is to abolish racism, to abolish it, right?
Absolutely.
And it's the stupidest thing in the world. So, like I said, if you attracted somebody, you don't care who they are. You don't care what.
Exactly.
There you go, man. Love is love.
Love is, the thing is, I think it's say somewhere in my book. I'm not just trying to promote my book, but it's like, but really, there's three things, when you like, you never discuss race, religion, or politics. Those are things I don't care about when I'm collaborating with somebody when we're doing music. Right. I don't. I'm a Christian. There's a songwriter I write with, Andre Pesses. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's
I've sang on some of your songs you wrote with him.
Bonnie Raitt and Huey Lewis and all this kind of stuff. But, that's like my brother. We were writing for 20 years together, and all of a sudden we were talking, and he tells me he's an atheist and I'm a Christian. I had no idea, and guess what? I don't care. Yeah. Because that's what I'm talking about. And we can let all that stuff go and really do what we want to do with each other without
it never stopped the love for one another.
That's has nothing to do with that.
So
I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you having sex with. I don't care about none of that stuff.
Never stop the love for one another.
well, the cool thing though is like I said, if I can get this to the Grammys took it on, or anybody took it on, where I can help young people get inspired by social conscious music, about the human sound. You got to reintroduce it to them, because in 1996, the internet was introduced, and it was just a sharing tool at first, right? So nobody knew what to do with it. But just think about all the kids on the other side of 1996. They basically don't know what human beings sound like. Mm-hmm. And the influence came from human beings in the first place. Now, what I want to do is reintroduce that. I'm going to have these after school programs, right? Because school is boring and it's hard. You can't wait to get out of there, right? But we're going to invite kids to go have jam sessions for 3 hours until their parents can get over there, right? From 3 to 6, there'll be jam sessions after school. And I don't care if you can't play nothing, bring a tambourine, whatever, after a while, just people getting together like that. Yeah. And then having jam session like that for the kids, they're watching somebody go, man, I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm going to be better than that dude. That's going to be all that kind of stuff. But they get introduced to sitting in the room with human beings, right? I'm going to say this last little thing. Because I had a dream.
Let me say something to that, to what you were saying, because when I was 19 years old, I had a program at an elementary school called the Cool Music Makers, and my students were all 4th and 5th graders. And it was an after school program, and kids, you didn't have to audition or nothing. You didn't have to be able to be a singer or a musician. And then we had little percussion instruments. Sure. I brought in songs, and still today, just yesterday, one of those kids called me. Now I'm 65 and he's 50 something, and he would say, "Hey, I just thought of this song that you taught me when I was in the 5th grade." And but
that's inspiring.
The impact that you have on, especially kids at that age, no matter what's going on in their world and their lives, no matter what their life like is at home or whatever, music brings you all together, makes you forget about whatever that drama is, all that. And if you could just have that for an hour a day, it could just change your life.
Perspective on everything, right?
It's so powerful.
That is true tranquility.
It's and like this thing called work, I'm going like, oh my God, we're all so blessed to be able to do this thing called music and then call it work.
Wow.
It's like sometimes my work is my only joy for the day. I'm saying, oh man, this is crazy. Let me go to work and get some relief.
Yeah.
So.
It's true.
What did you say? We can't hear you, Deborah.
Maybe we could do a songwriting competition for maybe children under 18 and over, say 18, to write a song, and then the winner, and they can actually perform it live on the show. I think that would be a real good inspiration. Mm-hmm. Encourage young musicians to get involved more with music for global change. What do you think? I think that's a really good idea, Skyler.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'll say this. When I was in the 4th grade and my mom was on welfare, so we couldn't afford nothing but food, basically, right? And I wanted to play trumpet. I saw the guy, the musicians union sent him down to play at the elementary school. And I'm looking at the trumpet and I'm going, wow, man, that's cool. I want to play trumpet. And so I went to my mom, right? Mom, you got to let me play trumpet. She said, well, the school told me it's going to be $300 for insurance on that. And if you lose that trumpet, you won't live here anymore. So anyway, now I get the trumpet, and I'm like, whoa, I'm getting on the porch. I'm on the porch trying to play trumpet, and my neighbor called my mom and said, if you still want that kid, you better get him off the porch. And so the next bad thing with me playing trumpet is my lip got real big because you got to blow, right? And I went to school the next day and the girls was like, who beat you up? So I said, no, I can't have no girlfriends. I had to quit the trumpet.
Wow.
That's the thing about growing up, your priorities change.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And then my dad, the only gift my dad probably ever gave me was a guitar. And the guitar was bigger than me. So my friend Ralph Johnson lived down the street. I used to go to his place and I would drag the guitar for 3 blocks. I do that because his next door neighbor was James Brown's sister. Every time James Brown came to Oakland to play the Oakland Auditorium, he would always go there. So I'm taking my guitar. I want you to see I can play. Yeah. Clay, what is it, man? What is it like, man? Just, it's a beautiful thing, graduating from Berklee College of Music, because, most people that dream about playing music, you can actually tell them how it's done.
For me, I am an avid Trekkie. And as being an avid Trekkie, part of being an avid Trekkie is always the need to always want to learn and better yourself.
Yeah.
And gain more knowledge. And the school thing was partially that, just what me wanting to just gain some more knowledge about what's currently going on, get a better understanding of how musicians deal with music now. You know what I mean? And the different things that are happening right now. And the big thing is I want to be able to take all this stuff and translate it into one of the other things I've been doing, which is working at these 2 centers. And the things that you guys are talking about, giving kids an opportunity to learn music and do music is a big part of what I do here at this center. I have a class that's called Kids Bop Camp, where the kids come in and we put together tracks of some of the latest songs that they like and have them come in and sing and get busy. You do what they got to do.
I'm gonna ask you something. Does some of the kids need instruments?
Not with this particular thing. It's just them coming in and singing.
Sure.
We put tracks together, they come in and record, and then we do a music video on it.
Okay. But they do the songs that they're familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have that whole vibe of being a part of the whole recording thing and the whole thing.
So it gives them a chance to learn to be on the mic, or it gives them a chance to learn how to hear themselves and tonation.
Learn how to process of doing a music video, the whole nine.
Sure.
And these are like young kids. You know what I mean? They're like what about 7 and to like
wow, you get them early. You got them early.
Babies.
And they come in and get busy. Like it's
it'll be dangerous at 10 years old.
Yeah.
And once you tell them where to stand,
Yeah, they're pretty. And a lot of them, it's funny. Some of these TV shows, they're not all the way accurate. Some of these TV shows, but a lot of them give them enough knowledge to be able to go, oh, I got to stay right here on the mic. Or I got to be right here.
So Clay, let me ask you this, Clay. Do you have 1 or 2 in particular that stands out from all the others for now?
Always there's someone that comes in and just kills it. I mean, we have our YouTube page, Daco Oakland.
Okay.
YouTube as Daco Oakland, and there I post videos. There's one little boy that did that Nas X song. What was the song? The big song he had.
Okay.
Yeah, and although he changed it to Oaktown Road.
Okay. There you go.
And I mean, so they're coming. We get a lot of kids that come in and do this stuff. Some of them are really talented. Some of them, they're just enjoying the experience of being part of it. You know what I mean? It's really great. And then my next for this coming up summer, what I'm working on is I'm trying to do a set of bands.
Okay.
A salsa band, a R&B band, a rock band, of kids.
Sure.
And they come in because I've been getting a lot of folks donating instruments and stuff like that, and have the kids come in and practice some songs or whatever, and then here in this forum, because right now I'm in charge of at least about an acre worth of land.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Doing all this stuff. So put on some little concerts, bring in, my thought is like if they're doing the salsa thing, see if I can bring in Pete or Sheila, Escovedo or Juan or one of the, come in and do a little quick little set, and then then the kids can play their set. You know what I mean?
Nice. Very inspiring.
What I love the most about what you're saying is something that all of us was here, like I said, before this whole revolution of the internet, right? Yeah. And when human beings, if the bass player didn't show up, you didn't have bass, right? It's like that, right?
Yeah.
But I want kids to be able to experience what we grew up with, to let them know that's how the playing with knobs and stuff like that got inspired, right? And because like there's a demonstration I always wanted. I wanted to go on the Oprah Winfrey show and do a demonstration. So like my whole thing is about abolishing racism, age discrimination in music, and image in music. None of them have nothing to do with the sound of music, right? And so the executives, they go there with you. Like I said, there's 9 categories at the Grammys that you see, but they don't see the real music, and that's at least if you guys remember when we used to watch the Grammys as a kid, you had all kind of music. It was country music, it was rock music, it was, there was all kind of, and I mean, people actually playing, because you know what I mean? And so we got to get into that. But my demonstration,
getting the kids to understand it's a communal experience.
Yes,
it's not something that happens in a bubble by yourself.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling, right? Yeah,
and it's the whole vibe of you actually working with other people and feeling that energy of working with someone else or a bunch of other people towards the same goal of trying to create something that's everyone else can enjoy. And I think that's the biggest thing to me for your vibe with world change, global change. Global change to me, it's not just about talk. To me, it's not just about talking about just global things in terms of like, when I think of global things, I'm trying to think more political, political types of things, but it's more than that. It's to me I think it's responsibility for global change to make us more aware of ourselves, more aware of our quirks, more aware of the changes that we need to make within that don't necessarily have to do with politics. Even just understanding things like one of the songs I put together is called "Old Enough to Know Better." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Understanding within myself and helping other people to understand from the same point of view that there's certain things that we're old enough to know better.
Yeah.
We're old enough that we're old enough to know that we shouldn't be doing certain things. And so I think that global change is also about making people more self-aware.
Yeah. And the things that we could do without money to help each other, right? With music, right?
I think, yeah, that's what the problem is. Like, you know, we get so wrapped up into money and this kind of thing that we forget what caused us to be in the music in the first place. We all started playing music, and you, Skyler, because we love music.
That's the most important thing. Right?
And I think our gig is to try to return to that feeling, return to the reason why we started this in the first place. And I think the money will come. Of course, you know, we have to think about those things, but we need to come back to our authentic selves, you know, and like Clay was saying, you know, music that raises the consciousness, you know, of our society, music that causes us to do a self-inventory, you know, of who we are and what we really want in this life, you know.
And how you can use it. How you can use it.
Do it, you know.
Yeah.
One idea I was having as we were talking was, you know, music for global change, but maybe a project where there's a song and using the internet, so we could have collaboration with different languages from people all over the world. You know, and maybe not have an original song per se, but maybe a song that everyone knows.
My demonstration was this. So I was going to go on Oprah Winfrey show, right? And I'm going to take a 10-year-old little kid, and I'm going to take an 80-year-old little man. I'm going to sit him right in the front, right? And so we can go down to get the stuff at your studio in the other room and take it and put it on stage. And do you guys remember those lights in those movies that they had that one light they put on the piano, right? You couldn't see nothing else, right? Remember that?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, so I would put that on all your equipment, just that light. And then I have somebody over there. I say, ask the 10-year-old, you want to hear some drums? Yeah. So I say, turn the light over there. And this guy programs drums. And the kid's like, hey, right? And the old folks is, hey, right? Okay, I let that go on for about 3 minutes. Then I say, cut the light out. Put the light up at the entrance where everybody walked in at. And I'm going to have a drummer walk in with all the cases. And I want him to pull it up on the stage in front of this 10-year-old kid, right? And then you got bells and whistles, and, you know, then he gets sticks, and he got rhythm, he got arms and legs moving. And now all the old folks like us is like, now that's my shit there. See, that's what I know. So, you know what I mean? And so the kid's like, wow, that was cool, right? I said, you want to hear some bass now? Program some bass over there, man, on top of them drums, right? And the kid's listening, cool. I said, cut that off. Put it up at the entrance again, put the light up there, and I'm gonna bring in a bass player, and I want him to be struggling, trying to get that damn amp down, you know, and get it up on stage, and then he start plugging in stuff like, right, and the kids watching him like, what the hell is that? Because if we get this far, they won't even know what the instrument look like. They keep going to NAMM every year. They get totally getting away. What, you know, thank God people go in there and play. But so the next thing you know, I'm going to build the whole band this way. Whenever I say program something over there, then I'm going to bring in the real instrument for him to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting right in the middle of the bass drum and John Paris, and have him sit there while Earth, Wind, and Fire play around him with all them same instruments that he told him to put in the computer over there.
Mm-hmm.
He'll never look at the computer again.
Maybe we should think about writing a song, We Can Change the World with Music for Global Change. What do you think? And then we could sing it when we start the festivals as well, and it could be like a theme tune. Mm-hmm. We Can Change the World as a national anthem with Music for Global Change. And I think that'd be fantastic. You know, and everyone could get involved as well with writing a song. What do you think? What have you?
It's just so many ways. Like for me, the reason why I had asked Clay that question, because, you know, if they're single parents and their kid is talented, but they can't, Clay, I was saying, you know, if they're single parents, right, and their kid needs an instrument, but mom can't buy the instrument for the kid. So I want to do a drive with all the Rotary clubs in the United States. Go to the Rotary. These people like 300 years old, right? And has Harry's saxophone sitting in the closet. Harriet, how would you like to see a kid, underprivileged kid, who dreams about playing a saxophone? Would you give that saxophone to him? And we can get instruments just like that to help single parent moms, that's trying to, they know their kid is talented, but he can play at school, but he can't bring it home. Right?
Yeah, I love that idea. I mean, the truth of the matter is, for here, I'm already doing that. That's why I have instruments. I have basses and guitars and keyboards.
Yeah, love it.
PA, because that's what I'm doing now. And then there's also another organization here that I think Larry's still a part of, MUST. I forgot what the acronym.
It was Music in Schools Today, but we have instrument drives and stuff. There's so many sources. If it's not for your particular place, it's for places all over the world and country. There's people, like you were saying, who no longer need their instruments for whatever reason. There's instrument repair shops. There's all kinds of people that have resources to get instruments, and we could get them distributed to kids in need.
It don't take, but like my grandma used to say, it don't cost nothing to be nice.
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Huh?
Man, I love you brothers for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time, man. Just seeing home like this is just so beautiful, right?
Hey, just seeing Jay LaRue, my God.
Larry,
live and live in color.
That was worth it all, seeing Jay.
Oh my God.
Let me say this for Music for Global Change, because they don't know and the world is about to know. I love these two brothers so much, Larry and Clay. Y'all gonna make me cry. Don't do that to me right now, man. I haven't been around them in so long, and I learned so much from them being behind the scenes and just watching. And I came into the industry as a writer with those guys, and I learned how to play instruments, and I learned how to engineer. I learned how to program. I learned how to actually just adapt with a lot of different people from all over the world, thanks to these two gentlemen right here and my brother, Skyler Jett. So I want to thank all you guys, man. I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to give it to you guys again, man.
I appreciate you. And Skyler Jett, it's only been 50 years we've known each other.
I think the last time we seen each other was at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, yes, Cannes Film Festival.
Wow.
That was the last time we seen each other, yeah.
That's crazy. That was years ago.
I played the very first one in Cannes at that place, and it's with the Commodores, with John Ponte, and Aretha Franklin had to come over on a boat because she don't fly, right?
Right.
It was crazy. I mean, KC and the Sunshine Band, and we did this big show. And you remember that guy Paul Williams, the Love Boat? He wrote the Love Boat.
Yeah.
Wow, I remember.
He was the MC, right? And the next thing you know, this place was so new, they were still pulling the plastic off the seats 2 hours before the gig. And next thing you know, man, and they had the coolest thing because you had headphones in your seat, so you can be plugged right into the mix. That was like amazing, right? I was loving that. But man, I'm telling you, Cannes, France. But it's true because I just did it with Sly in 2007. We played the Nice right there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just wherever you go. I'm gonna say this to you guys, Clay and Larry, because I'm like I said, I'm going to bring you guys to Ghana. And I'm going to bring you guys over there because with my attorney and my publisher, right, and do some conferences in Africa, man, because the talent is so off the chart. All they do is study the West, right? But they don't have any administration to make it happen. I think Universal is trying to move down there now, stuff like that. But there's so much talent, and they want to know. They're eager to know. And you guys have all this knowledge, right? To come in there and speak to these brothers, and maybe move around to a couple of countries and do 3-day, speaking engagements in Africa, and we can get this whole thing off everywhere with music, right? If you guys remember my radio show, I had never been to broadcast school in my life, but I'm not scared to make a mistake, right? And so next thing you know, I had my radio show for 3 years, every Tuesday, right? And I would book every guest, like I'm booking this, right? Because you guys have so much knowledge. The world needs to know how things really, they see it on TV like this, but you guys make things actually move. And I love you so much for all the knowledge you've given me all these years. And Clay and I lived in the same building together, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's no joke.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
It's
thank
really
you so
cool.
much.
You know what I could also see is like creating music, creating opportunities for kids to travel as well. I mean, you have to go to know, right? You know, so people could tell you about it, you could read about it, and you could tell somebody about your experience, but to providing an opportunity for kids to have the experience themselves, to travel around and do music globally will be a good thing for us to work towards.
And it's really good for their personalities and everything, because you're not only going someplace, you're not only going someplace, but they speak another.
Building revenues. Right now with this streaming thing and with Music for Global Change being the platform and stage for it, we can even do something right now to where Tom and Deborah basically interview no more than like a 1 minute, 2 minute interview of each band or each group that can perform in their own comfortable setting at home, backyard, living room, whatever. And like I said, it'd be a Music for Global Change thing, strictly streaming, strictly internet. And that'll be like just one sector of many things we're doing. And the proceeds from this can also go towards what Larry was just talking about, putting money back in for these young people so they can travel and learn and experience what it is like to actually, but through Music for Global Change with Deborah and Tom interviewing these people and these kids and these other artists and talented musicians coming out to give them a leeway to speak about what this song is about and what it's like in this area, in that city, that state, for your culture or what have you, and all different cultures in different parts of the world. It's submitted all back to Music for Global Change, and Tom and them do their editing thing and set everything up, and there can be volumes as we go. However you want to do it, 5 to 10 at a time, from the internet to the actual streaming the actual album. No different from American Idol type thing, but instead of somebody like what the guys were saying, no auditioning. This has nothing to do with auditioning. These people will perform right in their own backyard, right in their living room, right at home, and submit that video to Music for Global Change. And Deborah and Tom can do an interview with them over Zoom, no more than a minute or 3, edit it down and introduce each artist, each musician, each band, each group. And we sell it over the internet and move it through the streaming thing while we're still preparing for the live things.
Well, thank God there's a friend of mine who's interested in investing in Music for Global Change. His neighbor has 200 acres, and he put me on the phone with his neighbor, and his neighbor says, "Skyler, you can use the acres for free. Just bring your lights and sound." Well, if you got 200 acres, there's parking too.
Well, these same people that's submitting, uploading and submitting
much love, Clay.
Material,
I know you gotta go.
I gotta get back to being an actual director.
Understood.
I got people waving at me in the window trying to get my attention.
When you coming, right. I love it. Well, thank you, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Y'all. We got it. We got it.
Love you too, Clay.
All right.
Guys, in a minute.
All right. Take care now.
Much love.
Okay, Papa.
Larry, thank you so much, man, for coming on, brother.
Oh, you got it. It's such a pleasure. And thank you, Thomas and Deborah. I appreciate meeting you guys. And I love what you're doing. And if I could do anything to help advance your cause, I'm right there. You know, I'm really into youth and mentoring, and I think there's a lot of mentorship that could happen. It's like, through the eyes of youth, and getting their ideas and how they view things. We could show them where to go, but not tell them what to see. So we could take them places and they might see something else that we totally don't see in that. And I think that's the beauty of mentorship. So anyway, it's an honor to be here with you guys.
Love you too, Larry.
Yeah. Love you, Jay.
Larry, this thing right here that we're doing with Music for Global Change, is you're part of it too. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So I'm just saying, to get this new genre up and running, right?
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, I've done the research. There's 71 million people writing these kind of songs. We just need a platform. But I sure know how to bring people together. You
sure do. And everybody does what they do.
Yeah. Sure.
You look at what's needed. Okay, my strength is here and my weakness is there. Okay, let's find something to fill that void, fill that gap, and then you make it happen.
Well, keep us in your prayers.
So Larry, I got your information, and I think it's about time we do something.
We need to connect. I would love that.
I'm gonna leave it at that because you my mentor, so I'm just happy to be on board.
And I didn't realize you're in Houston.
I've been in Houston now going on 3 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta think you guys had a lot of stuff happening in Houston.
Yeah. Oh man, it's nonstop out here, and it's very united, man.
Yes.
Very diverse. They got over 300,000 people moving in Houston yearly over the past 2-3 years from all over the world, not just in the United States.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of big medical campuses there.
Yeah, a lot of .comers, a lot of medical people, some entertainers. And it's growing. It's
well, like I said, let's grow this music. Larry, I'm gonna work on somebody. We can do these festivals, right?
Yeah.
And then we just pick out the best of the best groups doing it, get it hot, like Michael Franti did. Now he's pulling off that kind of money. He just he goes out and put real groups with him to open for him, right? And they do happy music.
Putting like-minded people together. I mean, your cause is so great. I'm sure there's other people in this world who have the same feeling and want to do the same thing. And so that's who we partner with.
Well, bless you, brother. And if you got some music, some social conscious songs, I want to put them in a database of look at all these great writers.
Absolutely.
And
promote all to the good.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do it. You do it. God bless you guys.
Okay, Larry. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Okay. See you. Okay,
all right. Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like family. These are people I know 30, 40 years, right? And they're so powerful in the industry and so humble.
Yeah, man.
Jay, I love you, man. Thanks for coming, brother.
Hey, man, I'm here. It's a Music for Global Change thing.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to be on board. Can I give a couple of shouts out there?
Yeah.
To mom and dad in a little town called Hull, and my brother Danny Dog and the Guru out of Newcastle, and I can't forget my big brother Patrick Vieira, who used to be with Manchester United.
Yeah.
And I believe he's now coaching France or something like that. Maybe, but I didn't want to forget about him. So I did a little visiting out there in the UK and I enjoyed it so much. A lot of pubs.
Yeah.
Lots of pubs.
Pub capital.
Billy Zane and Tom Cruise. Thanks, fellas, for the good advice. I appreciate you guys.
Right on, man.
So other than that, let's get to work. Let's make some things happen. Tom, Deborah, we have a video coming up soon for Music for Global Change. We're consulting Skyler Jett called Stay Positive. I look forward to seeing it go global, worldwide through the Music for Global Change show. And you will have it exclusively first. So thanks, guys. I enjoy you. God bless, and I look forward to the next one. Let's make it happen. Music for global change.
Every day, all day, 24/7.
All right, Papa.
Much love.
Much love. Peace.
With lights flashing through the back of my window, it's clearer. The summertime in H-Town, adjusting my mirror. I grab my license, insurance, and get the registry. Is this shit for real? Or the dirty cops testing me? I got to let it be. See, that's the protocol. Soon as I'm somewhere, this visual pulling over, y'all. Visions of Rodney King, salute to Mr. George Floyd. Another knee on our neck to keep us non-void. When they see me on the streets, yeah, they know I'm on the grind. Should I call my mama, say I love you for the last time? Wanna reminisce, rewind. Am I a victim of crime? Or all these scheming as demons that's trapped inside my mind?
Stay positive. That's what I do. Whatever you have to do. Stay positive.
Don't let your circumstances be a disadvantage to your advancement.
Stay positive.
That's what we do.
Whatever you have to do. Stay positive.
Now, top of my class, I graduated with the roll lines. Since I was 9 years old, that's when I told my mama, gonna make a difference in this world, so arrange things. And when I'm in the position, then I can change things. No athlete or the military, but it flaw. I'm practicing, preaching, teaching, reaching to study law. Cause where I'm from, you got to learn to be negligent. When we apply for positions, sometimes they hesitant. But that's irrelevant. I got them focused on this education. My conversation is too intelligent. They want me out of chasing skirts, rocking fast cars. I'm hitting books, studying hard, about to pass the bar. And so far, calculated another parlay. You see me with it, but I did it all the hard way. Into this life, it seems so much negative. Still, I got a life to live, so I stay positive.
Stay positive.
That's what I do.
Whatever you have to do. Stay positive.
Don't let your circumstances be a disadvantage to your advancement.
Stay positive.
That's what we do.
Whatever you have to do. Stay positive. Stay positive. Gotta stay positive. Whatever you have to do. Stay positive. Stay positive. 'Cause it's gonna see you through. Stay positive. Whatever you have to do. Let's get positive.
Nah, man, nah.
'Cause it's gonna see you
Come on, get in with the real.
Whatever you do, just stay positive. Positive. Let's get peace and change.
Ain't got no money, but I'm gon' stay positive. Can't find a job, but I got to stay positive. I'm getting hungry, so I'm gon' keep positive. Bustling, hustling to be the best, giving all that I can give. Ain't got no money, but I'm gon' stay positive. Can't find a job, but I got to stay positive. I'm getting hungry, so I'm gon' keep positive. Bustling, hustling to be the best, giving all that I can
Stay
give.
positive.
That's what I do.
Whatever you have to do. Stay positive.
Don't let your circumstances be a disadvantage to your advancement.
Stay positive.
That's what we do.
Whatever you have to do. Stay positive. 'Cause it's gonna see you through. Stay positive. Save the world. Music can save the world. humanity.